Hey beautiful souls, welcome to today's video. So we're actually going to skip the soul chat for this week and continue with that next week. Life happened this week and I didn't get a chance to record it, but I did want to leave you this week with some words of wisdom and something that I think is so common for all of us, but very specifically for those of us that are going through our motherhood journey. So I know so many of us are trying to find that level of fulfillment and that level of just consistency of being in a certain type of energy, right? Whether that's joy, whether that's love, whether that's whatever, positive, insert positive energy. And when things are just kind of low and kind of stagnant and kind of not consistent, or maybe you just feel like you don't want to do anything, and there's this energy that comes up within us that makes us feel like we are not doing the right thing, right? By resting, by taking it slow, by taking it easy. And I wanted to give you some words of wisdom around this whole thing. Like, what are you supposed to do when things are not going your way? Okay, what are you supposed to do in those moments? And here are some words of advice, words of wisdom that I've learned from my own journey that I can insert into you. And I talk about this topic a lot. And there's actually 3 chapters within my book, Soulful Womb. And if you haven't gotten the copy, you can get it from the link. It's on Amazon. There's the ebook version and also a paperback version of the book. I highly recommend the book if you are looking for some inspiration on your journey of motherhood or just in life. But anyways, 3 chapters dedicated to this topic and this thing, which is called surrender. Okay, the very first thing that I need you to understand before I break down surrender for you in this video is that life is not supposed to be the same. It's not supposed to be, okay? We're supposed to ebb and flow, and as we're going through our spiritual growth, our ascension process, it goes into a spiral. So maybe there's a lesson that you feel like you closed out and then all of a sudden something else comes up. Well, guess what? As you're doing that work, that inner work, or as you're learning that lesson and closing out that loop, something else that was related to it that your soul wants you to learn will come up again. And it may feel like crap, and you may feel like, what's going on in my life? Why am I going through this again? But it's supposed to happen. And the more we learn how to surrender to it, surrender to life, surrender to letting things unfold and not insert ourselves and insert our narratives and insert our fears and insert our doubts into things, situations, the easily we are able to get out of it. So, I go back and forth with this back pain that I've been dealing. It's actually a lower back glute pain, and I've learned that the pain comes and goes around my cycle, and it's due to perimenopause, and it's a whole side note. But anyways, this morning I was applying some ointment to that area, some pain relief ointment, and I washed my hands with soap and stuff, but this stuff is strong, and so I was coming out of a meditation and just opening my eyes, and I rubbed my eye, this one, and it was burning, it was stinging, and I could have went into this whole moment of just freaking out about it, right? But instead I remembered I watched this podcast of David Guillaume's from last week, where he had a similar experience where he had soap go into his eye and it was really burning, and he had just told himself in those moments to pause and to surrender to it, to let the control go. And I did the same thing, and literally it was 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden the pain disappeared. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you, and the reason why he shared it in his podcast, is that is very similar to the situations that are going on in our life, right? Consistency isn't what you think it is, or isn't what you expect it to be, right? Like, we're looking for this consistent feeling of like happiness, bliss, just like, especially as moms, just like low stress, like nobody throwing tantrums, like just kind of an ideal situation where we can just live our life and our kids are also living their life, and it's just, it's calm. There's balance and calm, right? And there aren't those moments where things are crazy, and there aren't those moments where it feels like we're sucking at everything, right? Like we suck at everything and life is just not going for us, right? And we don't have the energy. And we all want to be at our optimal performance, and we all want that consistency, but that's not what consistency means in life. Consistency in life is about knowing that you are in control of one thing and one thing only, which is your nervous system, okay? When you can learn to stay calm in situations, those situations will quickly turn another direction. It's not that you're not going through that situation. It's just your reaction to that situation has changed. Your perspective to that situation has changed. And that's how you gain consistency of that frequency that you're thinking of. And you might be going up and down in your vibration and in your energy as that situation's happening, right? Like, for example, your kid throws a tantrum about not eating broccoli, okay? Very basic example. And you're like, but I want you to eat the broccoli, and then they don't want to eat the broccoli, then they don't want to eat anything else on their plate, and then they just want to have a cookie, and you're like, no cookie, and it's like this back and forth, and it's like your energy, you're getting like high strung. You may also be getting irritated. You're also like, what's going on? Like, and you want to escape that situation. But in that moment, if you can pause when your kid is throwing the tantrum, allow them to throw the tantrum, and you focus on your nervous system, regulating yourself, coming to a calm place, and then reacting to them from that calm place, I will bet you $1 million, okay, $1 million that situation will look a lot different than if you allowed yourself and your energy to become high strung and then react from that place. And that is the same with any other life situation, okay? It's not that your energy didn't change in that moment. Even when you're trying to get to a regulated state, maybe you're going back and forth between like, I don't feel safe, I don't want to be here, I feel really stressed out, and and then you're going into moments of like, I feel really calm, like this is okay. And that's the truth about life, and that's consistency. That is consistency. Consistency isn't like, I'm going to be happy every day and every day is going to be great, because that doesn't exist. That is like an illusion in itself. It's the way that you're perceiving and reacting to the situations, right? Because all of it is a bias at the end of the day. So you could be walking around and get stubbed on your foot and it might not even bother you. Whereas another day, it might bother you. And that's life. And when you can understand this basic truth and learn how to surrender to it, surrender to life, and not take control to bring the outcome that you are envisioning, things miraculously happen, right? We always hear like, God has a better plan for you. Surrender and let go and let God. We hear these things and we kind of understand it, but these things are said because it's the truth. And it's not about giving your power up to another being. It's about learning that you are that power. Like, that is your sovereignty. When we say let go and let God, it's not that we're like giving our power up to some other being. I want you to understand this. You're giving up your power to your higher being, to who you truly are. Because that version of you, your higher self, your higher being, already knows what is best for you. And your soul is bringing up situations for you to learn from that. And so when we can surrender, and we can surrender more, and we can surrender more, and we allow and we let things unfold, and we focus on the only thing that we have control over, our nervous system and our energy, things start to flow. They may not be consistent the way that you're thinking of, but they are very consistent. They're very consistent. Because you start to find happiness even in your sadness, which is very deep. And why is that? Why do you find happiness in your sadness? Or why do you find happiness in your pain? Or things that are painful? Because you know that those are things that are coming to you for you to learn the lesson and close the loop and move forward. It's like there's a deeper meaning to all of it that you understand. And you're on board with it. You're not resisting it anymore, right? You're not trying to build this life that is, kind of built with lies and delusions and fakeness. You're living your life from a very authentic place. When you can start to make these changes of surrendering and regulating your nervous system and getting to a place where you already understand and have faith that everything is going to work out for you, no matter what. Even the pain, even the challenges, they're all there for a reason. And you understand that, and you have faith. And you're actually happy about it, like I said. You're actually happy about it. I want to share a story with you now. So I want you to think about Buddha. And if you don't know anything about Buddha, Buddha is the founder, the CEO of Buddhism. He was actually a prince. His name was Siddhartha, actually. In India, North India. He was a prince and meant to be the king. And he also was married and he had a son. And before he left to become the Buddha, before he left to get enlightenment, he lived this whole other luxurious life as in a palace. He grew up in the palace because he was a prince. He got married, he had a kid, he lived this whole entire life, okay? And he understood that there was something deeper that he was meant to do, and he surrendered to that. And he left his palace, went out into the woods, did his pilgrimage, and found a place that he could pretty much meditate and figure out the truth of life. And the reason why I'm sharing this story with you is we may think that we know what our life is supposed to be. We may be attaining things that we think that will bring us happiness in our life, right? And we may be trying to control those outcomes, but not until we surrender can we actually gain clarity and wisdom. Sometimes the best things in our life are meant to be lost because you're learning that you're not even losing them. You're actually gaining. You're gaining something else from it, right? And you understand, you come to a place of purpose, of what your purpose in life is. And so I'm going to bring this back because I know I kind of went out there a little bit in spirituality, but the reason why I share that story of Buddha, especially for all of you that are listening, that are on your motherhood journey, is I know that it seems that there may have been a time that you were living a life where you are on the top, and maybe now as a mom you've had to sacrifice certain things, maybe your career, maybe your time, maybe your social life, whatever it may be, and it seems like that's not fair. But there's a bigger meaning to all of it. There's a huge meaning behind all of it, right? And when you can surrender and not allow yourself to think that you lost something, but fall into the new identity of who you are, just like Buddha did, right? He went from Siddhartha to Buddha. You understand what your power is and what your purpose is. Because your true power is not in your humanness. Your true power is in your spirit. And it takes a long time for us to get to that point. But when you understand that you are able to just stay calm by regulating your nervous system and surrendering, other things start to happen to you. Your body starts to align to something else, to another truth, where you're pulled away from those things. And so I'm going to end it here, but I wanted to just share this because I see and I hear and I've been observing how people are just going through a really hard time with many, many different things, and they fall into these narratives and they fall into these truths that are not truths. They're actually lies, they're illusions, and they're trying to figure out, like, how can I live a better life? And it's like you're constantly chasing this thing. Like, how can I be better? How can I have a better life? Like, my life just sucks, right? How can I have my life like that person? Like, we're just constantly doing this thing of, like, it has to be better. And the truth is, you're not going to attain it by chasing it. You're going to attain it by surrendering. Because your life is better. In this moment, your life is better. You know why it's better? Or the best? Because you actually exist. Which means you're breathing. You're alive. You can do anything you want. Because you're breathing. And you have a healthy body if you're watching this. You can go out there and do whatever it is that you want to do. You can live your life on your terms. The only thing that's stopping you is you. Right? The only thing that's stopping you from having the best life is you. It's the truth. And you're not going to get there by trying harder. You're going to get there by surrendering. Because it's already, your higher self already knows the path you're to take, right? Make it easier for your higher self to just guide you on it by letting go of control. Let go of control. I say the same thing to my moms that are controlling everything in their child's life. Let go of control. Let your child be. Yes, we have to be there to nurture them. Yes, we have to be there to teach them certain things. But we don't have to control them. Let them be. They'll figure it out. Right? But something in you is not allowing you to let go of that control. And trust me, I know. I'm a control freak. You can ask my husband. It has taken me a very long time to get to this point of surrender. I used to control every little thing because I was tapped into the fear, right? I was tapped into the fear, like, I got to control this because I don't want this thing to happen. And, like, sometimes you can become very manipulative as you're controlling things too, right? Which is actually adding to the pain of your life. Going on a tangent, I'm getting very passionate about this too. You're actually adding to the story of pain in your life because you're not able to surrender. And so if you're watching this, you made it this far. I love you all so very much, of course. Surrender. And if you're looking for a place that you can learn these skills of, like, how to regulate your nervous system, how do I surrender? How do I build a connection with spirit? How do I understand who I really am at soul level? I'm creating this community. It's called The Conscious Return. I'm going to launch it sometime in February, March. I'm not going to announce, like, the date exactly because, truth be told, my life is going in various different directions. And spirit is really telling me to, like, rest, like, relax, stop doing so much stuff. And so I'm trying to just, like, integrate with that. And so I have all intentions of releasing this by spring, this community. If it will be in end of February, if it will be in March, I don't know. When I get the date, I will let you know. But I'm very excited to invite you into the space because I have dreamt myself to be part of a spiritual community where I don't feel alone and where I can talk to other people about the things that are actually happening and have good, solid advice. Like people that I trust, trusted advisors, experts, like people that like I know are on the right path and are working from a very selfless place. And so I then realized that that doesn't really exist, or if it existed, I didn't find it. And so I created it. And I'm in the midst of creating it and inviting people and inviting experts and having a whole bunch of cool things in there for you, for your spiritual journey. And there's going to be a separate section in there just for moms. So my moms that are going through fertility, through pregnancy, through postpartum, I'm going to have a whole other section for you. So you understand when I talk about energetics and I talk about connecting with spirit, and when I talk about like motherhood being a spiritual portal, what that all means. Like it's all going to be, all of that content is going to be there. There's going to be tools in there that help you to regulate your nervous system, to calm yourself. SOS things, you'll have access to me. So, if you need like SOS coaching or like something happens, you're like, I need somebody to talk to, like you'll have access to those type of things in this community. Really, really, really excited about it. And I can't wait to get it to you. But in the meantime, if you have questions about this, drop it in the chat, in the comment section. You can send me a DM and we will be connected. I love you all so much. Peace, love, and light. Namaste.